John Dingell has never forgotten his roots. It's a good example for all of us. But another example has been that John Dingell was able to grow beyond his roots in a sense, to have a sense that there were underdogs virtually everywhere. And so John Dingell came here not only fighting for those who were part of a new middle class, but for those who were not, and had the courage, if one remembers it wasn't so easy, to fight for the rights of every human being. So John Dingell's service here, as has been so often, is more than the days numbered, but the issues fought for with esteem and success. So this is an emotional moment for us all, as I said, for John and Debbie Dingell, but I hope for America, because his service has been a truly American service and story. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back the balance of his time. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Upton, is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, at this point I would yield 2 minutes to the gentlelady from the great state of Michigan, Mrs. Miller.
The gentlelady from Michigan, Mrs. Miller, is recognized for 2 minutes.
I thank the gentleman from the great state of Michigan for yielding. And Mr. Speaker, I come to the floor today to join so many of our colleagues, not just from the great state of Michigan, but from the great, great nation of America, to honor our colleague here, truly a giant of this House, and a legendary leader in Michigan as well, Congressman John Dingell, as he becomes the longest-serving member of this House in the history of this body. Every member of this House is addressed by the term the Honorable, but perhaps no other member of this House deserves that title more than the Honorable John Dingell. For the last 19,420 days, an amazing number, more than 53 years, John Dingell has served the people of Michigan and our nation with honor and with distinction. He has been a vocal fighter for our state and a champion for working men and women across this great nation. He is a man whose word is his bond, and I know that personally on so many experiences. His word is his bond. If he gives you his word, Mr. Speaker, take it to the bank. Mr. Speaker, none of us can ever doubt the sincerity with which he approaches his cause, nor his ability to work with members across the aisle in different chambers to find solutions to the enormous challenges that have been facing our nation during his long tenure here. And there is no better ally to have when fighting an issue than John Dingell. Again, I know this from personal experience, because he is a zealous advocate for his cause and an incredible leader, and again has that rare ability to bring people together. There is simply no better person, as my colleague from Michigan said, to share a foxhole with than John Dingell. And while I respect and honor John Dingell for his service to the people of his district, Michigan, and this nation, the thing that gives me the greatest pleasure is to be able to call John Dingell friend. And I say that with the greatest sincerity, Mr. Dingell. Congratulations, Mr. Chairman, and my sincere best wishes for another 19,000 days of service here in this establishment. I yield back the balance of my time, Mr. Speaker.
Gentlelady's time has expired. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Peters, is recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. I would like to yield 2 minutes to the distinguished gentleman from California, Representative Capps.
The gentlewoman from...
I thank my colleague.
...is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in strong support of this resolution, and with the greatest reverence for my colleague and my mentor, the Honorable John Dingell. I was fortunate enough to join the Energy and Commerce Committee in 1999. Over the past 10 years, we have confronted difficult times and difficult legislation. But whether as ranking member or as chairman, John led us all honorably and always with the greater good in mind. As a nurse, working with Mr. Dingell on health care has been an honor. Indeed, it's been the privilege of a lifetime. In fact, I have kept my RN current because with the team Dingell, I work on health care advocacy as much in this body as I ever did as a school nurse in Santa Barbara County. whether it was passing the Nurse Reinvestment Act, or opposing the misguided Medicare Modernization Act, or holding our very first hearing when we were back in the majority on children's health care, passing also the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act. Mr. Dingell has always been first and foremost concerned about improving health care for all Americans. And of course, behind every great man is quite often a strong woman. This has never been more true than it is with the Dingells. In fact, I had the pleasure of getting to know Debbie Dingell before I really got to know John, because I first came to Washington as a congressional spouse. She worked hard with John to ensure that the Energy Commerce Committee remained collegial, and she would often keep John and all of us company during late-night markups. I use this occasion then also to pay tribute to her today for all she does to support John's great work and service. Congratulations to Mr. John Dingell, to the entire Dingell family, for reaching this incredible, amazing milestone. I yield back.
The gentlewoman from California yields back the balance of her time. Who yields time?
Mr. Speaker, I would just say I have a number of members that may be coming over. We have no one here at the moment. I would ask at this point unanimous consent for all members to revise and extend their remarks and be able to submit that material for the record. But at this time, Mr. Peters should go ahead.
The gentleman's request has been addressed. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Peters, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield 2 minutes of time to the distinguished gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. Jackson Lee.
The gentlewoman from Texas is recognized for 2 minutes. Without objection, so ordered.
Many times you will hear us suggest that we are privileged to be on the floor and to be able to speak to a particular resolution. I know that the distinguished gentleman that I speak of this morning, Congressman Dingell, is a respecter and lover of this institution. He often supports and calls for regular order. But this morning I would like to be given a waiver to speak particularly in a personal manner, because I believe that the courage of John Dingell truly has impacted my life.